I can't with season 7 right now. Can we just start like skip this whole thing, restart in season 8, and then everything will be fine. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new season of Keystroke Medium. I am Josh Hayes here with Chuck Manley, Scott Moon, and Dean Floyd. Welcome.
Yo.
Sorry we're late.
He's over there.
For look, I know you guys aren't going to believe this. It was not Scott's fault.
It was not my fault.
It wasn't Scott's fault. It was my fault, and I don't even know why it was my fault. And that's the thing that
Welcome
really
to my
irritates
world.
me.
Take a couple of weeks off.
Yeah. Oh, I know. You let the whole show go to hell.
My conversation with Josh. I did the exact same thing I did last time, but this time the computer didn't work. Aren't machines supposed to work the same way every time? That's what he's experiencing right now.
We have the exact computer with the exact same programs using it the exact same way, and he's got Skynet pissed off at him.
And I'll do the exact same thing for like 6 months, but then on 6 months and 1+1 day, it's like, nope.
So was Skynet kicking you in the squishies today because you keep helping Scott?
No, I don't know what happened.
Probably. Guilty by association.
I have had a USB extension connecting my webcam to my rig, and apparently Chrome, for whatever reason, today decided it didn't like the extension cord. And
what I heard was wop 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 Chrome. Wop, wop, wop.
Yeah. So it took me about 6 minutes, but I got it working, and now we're here.
Hey.
And oddly enough, Nathan Peddle has the first comment of the day. So he gets the first golf clap of appreciation for season 7.
Well done, Nathan. Well done.
Guy is here. What's up? What's up? Silent Wolf. I haven't seen Silent in a while. What's up, dude?
Yeah, man. I hadn't seen his name in quite a bit.
Joaquim Oliveira is here. Hello. I haven't seen him in a while either. Welcome, both of you lovely people. Oh, look, Trucker Charlie's in Iowa today. Hello. Welcome. I hope everybody had a great holiday. We had a really good 2 Christmases, and then our New Year's Eve was slightly inebriated, and
I drank all day, starting at about 11 o'clock.
I was cooking and sipping on beer from about 1 o'clock.
My wife, the first thing she wanted that like New Year's Eve morning when I was making breakfast was mimosas, and it just started from there.
Yeah.
All night, people came over.
It's true.
Bottles were emptied. It was crazy.
My father-in-law brought over some Polish beers. Somebody sent him, so I had a can of Polish beers.
Nice.
Pretty interesting. Tastes like beer.
Well, let's see. Leo's here. What's up, Leo? Ken Britz is in the house. Keith Taylor. Tom Hoddle is here. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. I think today we've got a lot to go over because we have a lot going on this season. The team got together a couple of weeks ago and kind of hashed out our plans and thoughts and what we wanted to do for this year, and there is a lot.
Don't let him lie to you. Josh yelled at us. It was rude. It was terrible.
It was pretty
mean.
Yes,
He
Chuck,
was mean.
Hey, look, Chuck got a bonus. He got a bonus and
13% raise
and an extra day off this year. So he's moving up in the world, and now he's the head intern because now Dean is coming in as the newest assistant head director of the interns. You know what? Let's actually promote Dean right now, and let's make Dean like the executive assistant to the vice principal of interns, and then put Chuck under him.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for the punchline.
Dean's going to be Chuck's supervisor from now on.
Damn kids always getting promoted.
Like Chuck, we did something for you real special. We got you a supervisor.
Who knows? Maybe you'll do better under Dean.
My mind is flashing back to that movie Office Space. And there was the guys. It's my stapler.
Yes,
and that's me. I'm going to burn this place down. I'm going to burn it.
We've got great office space for you in the basement. Okay, so I think today we're going to skip our weekly updates and jump right into our goals. I think that's pretty important for this year, especially starting out New Year's. Everybody's doing new goals and new resolutions. So instead of doing our weekly updates on our writing, which you guys can do if you want, Let's talk about our goals for this year and what we see ourselves doing going forward. So, Scott, I know you're doing pretty ambitious things this year. What are your goals?
Oh, you would start with me.
Ha-ha!
Oh my God.
For 2022.
Yeah.
His goal is to pack up that 4 million books that he's got behind him.
Yeah, I did pack up some books. So
true.
When we moved the last time, we had these boxes that were kind of narrow. They're just about the right size for a human being to lift after you fill it with books. But we got all those same size boxes that we're getting from where most of them are from where my daughter works right now. And so I load this up with books and I write on it extremely heavy. And then I attempt to manhandle it into the other thing. I'm like, yeah, I can move about one of these a day. Oh my God. It's big boxes full of books are very heavy. So one of my goals obviously is to get moved into a new house, which will involve moving. That's why my backdrop is not nearly as professional or as glitzy as my co-keystrokers
fail
today. So yeah,
that is not glitzy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yours is the glitziest.
No, but it can be like a quarter Starfield, which is really cool.
It could be
a quarter Starfield.
I'm gonna have to get something interesting on this wall because it's just
everybody wants that quarter starfish in the background.
That's right.
on your we're starting off all wrong this year.
Wow.
Nothing ever changes. Don't lie to yourself.
No. So my goals are, I started out, I always do the thing. I have a journal. What do I have? Do I have one here?
You packed it up.
Yeah, well, it's in my work backpack. But one of the things I write, like at least once a week, sometimes I'll do it every day, but usually once a week, I write a page in my journal. It's what I know. And so the first thing I always write is writing 5,000 words a day would change my life in meaningful ways. So I know that's a fact. And then the next one, then it goes down from other things I want to do, kind of a daily journal. But I don't think I'll ever hit 5,000 words a day. But so doing the math, 5,000 words a day would be 18 100,000 word books a year. And if you could do that and manage the quality, that's a lot of books, and that would be fantastic. I'm in a good position right now where I have a really good outlet for my books through Variant and Jeff Chaney and through Athon. And so I don't really need to do anything fancy. Since I started doing the indie publishing or just author thing in general, I've always like, what can I do now to go up to the next level? What can I learn about marketing? I took all the marketing courses, as we know, and spent a lot of money on that stuff. Just all of the different things, like what do I need to learn about algorithms this month? Well, really all in my specific situation, all I really need to do is write more. And so that's my goal for this year. I think somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 a day is reasonable. And that will allow me to have some days where I just can't get any words because of work, because I'm not sleeping, or because I'm doing lots of editing. Every now and then I'll have like 2 books I have to edit. I get edits back for 2 books at the same time. And that murders your word count production, but it still counts because it's good work. So my goal is 3,000 to 5,000 words a day. I'm also giving up sugar. My wife and I are giving up sugar for the year just to see what that feels like.
Thing. That shit is poison.
And it is. And so I'm not worried about carbs. Like I don't really care about carbs. It's just more of the really high impact sugars like candy bars, cookies.
It's all about insulin
sugar
management, man. It's all about blood sugar and insulin management.
Yeah.
You got to watch that shit.
I get a little bit of sugar in like some marinara sauce or something. I don't care about that, or whatever.
But no more Snickers bars. Huh?
Yeah. But so back when I was on first shift down south, we had a really nice lady who was our office person, and her name was Joan, and she had a box of candy. Josh knows this box of candy.
Joan's special drawer.
Oh, it is so good. And so I would go in there and I would be digging around for my favorite piece of candy. And she's like, what are you digging
Delta
for?
8.
And I was a sergeant at the time. And she goes, I said, well, I really like these little Snickers bites, but I think I ate them all. And she goes, oh, no. Let me show you the sergeant's drawer. And so she she pulls out this drawer of a full-size Snickers bar and gives me like 3. Became my best friend forever. Well, so I moved up north a couple years later. She is now the Patrol North secretary. So, and we share an office. Now we're not there at the same time because I work nights, but there's a giant box full of random candies. And I feel like sometimes she puts some of mine on the top just so I don't have to dig too much because she's that nice. So staying away from sugar is going to be really hard for me, but really, really important because I've gained about 25 pounds since I went to nights, and I want to undo that. But yeah, that's me. My goal is very exciting. I know it's really surprising everybody is write a lot of words. I also would like to be consistent with the Patreon page I started. I got some good information at 20 Books about some people who use that kind of like a newsletter. And so I'm trying to figure that out. And then I am going to continue to do a systematic education, educating myself on marketing and Facebook ads and Amazon ads and those things. That's about it. That's mine. Goals.
Chuck, what about you, my friend?
Pretty much all the same shit he just said.
Now you can't do that
and wear more hats.
Well, I've already given up, for the most part, given up sugar. It's tough to avoid sugar around the holidays because the wife wants to make candies and cookies and things, and they're all delicious. So from about January to September, no sugar. October to the end of the year,
go for it.
Some of it. I don't want to get crazy. But as far as writing goes, I think we talked about it when we were talking about the end of the year stuff. I was talking about how I just wanted to be more consistent about writing every day without necessarily having a word count goal every day and focusing more on like a monthly goal. Okay. And I actually started doing this before the new year. But I have managed to consistently do at least a few hundred words every day. And from that, it's been like 3 weeks, I think, since we did that show. And I'm about 10,000 words into Jack 3. So
nice.
That just those little additions really do add up, and the kids go back to school Wednesday and the house will finally be empty again. And hopefully I'll be able to start kicking those counts up higher and getting them out. But just a little bit every day, it adds up, man. It's like taking that next step. It's
Absolutely.
Always going to move you forward just a little bit. Besides that, I recently had a loss in the family that sort of brought some lifestyle issues home to me. So I'm going to start trying to take a little better care of myself, watching the booze. And my daughter requested some exercise equipment for Christmas because she's our little athlete, man. She's softball and just everything. So she wanted like some little kettlebells and a weight bench and stuff like that. So we got her one. So I'm going to get all that put together and I'm going to try and like use her to motivate me to, spend 15 or 20 minutes a day on the treadmill and pump a little iron here and there just to kind of get because I actually used to be pretty athletic myself a million years ago. So I kind of, in fact, right before the show, we were out in the yard, me, her, and my son having a snowball fight. So it was,
nice.
It was pretty fun.
A lot of people don't know because the show makes us all the same height and stuff is that Chuck is our resident Keystroke medium giant. He towers
that's why
above
he
us.
puts the camera up a little high because it makes him short.
Well, the only way I could get it down to eye level is if I put a tripod between me and the screen.
Oh, it's like a little tripod.
Yes, a little tripod. But but so it's up a little higher like that. But yeah, that's really the two big ones. Just I want to, I'm 54, I'm a little overweight and just kind of want to start paying a little more attention to the health stuff, stick around see if I can see some great grandkids before I kick off the mortal coil.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, write more words, take care of myself as well as the family, and keep on keeping on, man. How about you, Josh?
Let's see. I have a couple things that I want to do this year. The biggest thing overall is to return back to like the beginning of 2019 level for me in writing and productivity. Right when I went full time in 2019, I was like just slamming out words and being super productive on stuff, and then it kind of slipped away. And I've been starting the last couple of weeks to kind of jump back on top of that gradually, and I'm making really good progress. I'm aiming to get 2,000 words a day consistently, which I'm already failing at, but that's okay. Because I'm still trying, I'm still endeavoring to get the words, and I still am getting words so far this year. I haven't missed a day on day 3, so we're good. I'm gonna start, like Chuck said, working out. Nothing too crazy. Just hitting the gym a couple of times a week. And then the different thing that I want to do is Manley said better jokes. I have the best jokes in the world.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, man. I just saw that.
Best jokes. The biggest thing I want to do is start reading more. Last year I fell off the wagon, as it were, like with audiobooks and I burned through several series like just quickly, and then for some reason or other stopped listening to audiobooks and kind of fell off reading. And so I really want to pay attention this year to what I'm reading and how I'm reading it. Usually I'll fire up the Kindle for like 5 minutes when I'm laying in bed, and I want to try to make it a point to fire up the Kindle or whatever I'm doing like half an hour before bedtime or something, and really kind of cut away some time that I can do more reading, whether it's audio or reading, because I think that's really important. Just to grow as a writer, you have to write, but also reading, filling that tank with creative juices, as it were. And I think that is it for me, just generally being more productive. What about you?
And make everybody else go first and then do much better goals than them and make them all look like chumps.
You're welcome.
That's pretty good. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know Dean still has to go. Dean,
you come in there and be the anchor on this.
Take it away, new guy.
Dean, make us all look bad, buddy.
All right. Well, let's see here. I am jumping headlong into sci-fi adventure / space opera.
Nice.
I have a 5-book series roughly planned, and the goal there is to hit 420,000 words. And I don't know if I don't really care about publishing it this year so much as just like having a good time writing it and getting back to just enjoying the drafting process, and not worrying so much about the publishing. Right. And then I have my wife's due mid-February with our third son. So congrats. Thank you. So that's historically that's been a huge what's the word I'm looking for? Having
disruption.
A baby like
time sink?
Yeah.
Disruption.
Time disruption.
That's what you're looking for.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to pace myself. I'm trying to front load the words between now and whenever the baby arrives, and then and just kind of not get down on myself after that if I have to slow down considerably. So
yeah,
we'll probably do a whole show on that particular issue because we've all faced that.
What, disruptions or kids?
Kids in writing. So they're good, and then they do definitely make things more challenging.
Have any of your kids ever read one of your books?
God, no.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, yours are still really young.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be reading my books, probably. Well, they probably, yeah.
Well, how old's your old? Scott?
What? Mine? Yeah, my oldest is 24.
I think he could probably handle it.
Oh, he could handle it. That's fine. But he's doing other stuff right now. And then my second oldest is 21, but she's just not that interested. Probably they're not going to read them for the same reason my wife doesn't read them that much, is because that's a lot of pressure. You know, if they don't like them, now if somebody who's close to you is like, you know, and it can just they have some pressure to be positive about them. They might think they suck. Oh. So I don't really push it.
So you have family that cares about your feelings.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Because mine will be happy to tear my shit apart. Right,
oh no, they don't care. I just don't like to be hurt by that.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure on you. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to take that type of emotional rejection.
So Dean,
Josh, what are we doing this year?
Hold on, I don't know if Dean was done.
I'm sorry, Dean. Did I interrupt you? I thought you were done.
Yeah, I have this other little goal, which was to host a new podcast for Keystroke.
Yeah. Hey,
that might happen. I don't know. I see something good.
Is that a good lead-in?
I think that's
a nice segue. Very professional.
I mean, if you could get any more pro, I don't know how.
Already the best intern we have.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Oh man. Yeah. So,
Creating new enemies for me. Awesome.
That's right.
There you go.
We like office warfare.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
We like to foster a little inner office rivalry, kind of a cutthroat, rise to the top type of environment we have.
How very Sith Lord of you.
Yes. 2 interns enter, 1 intern leaves. So we are doing some pretty cool stuff at Keystroke this year. Of course, live is staying on the schedule. The Writer's Journey is staying on the schedule. Everybody will be excited to know that Coffee and Concepts is coming back this year.
Yes.
I think he's starting tomorrow, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. It's either tomorrow or next week. Walt will be coming back. I don't know. I haven't seen him. Yeah. But he's coming back. Marathon Author will be continuing his show, and James is actually talking about maybe doing some live shows as well. Just trying kind of changing up his format a little bit, but definitely doing the weekly Marathon Author journal. Kayleen is coming back with story time, and she'll be doing I think she's going to be reaching out to members of our community for their books, and then also Athon books. We're going to be taking some of their new releases and using them for story time. We've got 1 or 2 other shows in the works. And today, part of the show, we want to talk about Dean's new show, which is called Under the Iceberg. And he's got a pretty interesting concept. He sent me a pitch video, which I'd never had before, ever, which I thought was really cool. And he has a really good idea. So, Dean, why don't you tell us about your show and what you got planned for it?
Yeah, so from the title, you can tell it's about lettuce.
Yes, true.
Everybody's favorite salad.
Romaine? Lost some coffee right through my nose.
It's like a sister show to Coffee and Concepts. We're going to be talking about salad and writing.
Yeah.
No.
Fiber.
So
why should you knock on the refrigerator?
Why?
In case there's a salad dressing.
Nice.
I hate you.
Open it. That's why I always put the cry
I hate
emoji
you for
with
putting
Josh
that
too.
in my head.
You're welcome.
I'm using that as soon as the show is over. Anyway, moving on.
Sorry, Dean.
Sorry.
Rally around.
So yeah, Under the Iceberg. They say that success is just the tip of the iceberg. But underneath the water, there's an unseen bulk of ice that consists of hard work and late nights and rejections and failures. And so I thought it would be fun to interview different successful authors and kind of get at go beneath the iceberg and talk about their failures and the challenges and the setbacks that that led to them becoming successful and getting that overnight success. So first up, we're going to be having Josh and Chuck and Scott. So it should be a lot of fun.
Can confirm.
Wait, we're successful?
Oh, yeah. So we might be failing.
Successful-ish. But that's actually
small.
A pretty cool show meme. We're going to be talking about failures, but then we're also failing as a show.
Maybe we should change the name to Epic Failure. But, yeah. So we'll see.
I think it's a great concept. I really do. And because a lot of people, even people who have decided they want to write, they still have that, I'm just going to throw some shit on a page and make $1 million kind of attitude. And they just don't get that, and a lot of times writers don't tell the stories behind how hard it was to get that 100,000 words down while still trying to have a life outside of that project. So I think it's a great concept.
Yeah, how to stay the course, how to get there, for sure.
Yeah.
I saw, if you go over to 20 Books, Facebook, they have a lot of their year in review. I saw one caught my eye, and the guy was talking about how he had basically had no, there you go, failure of valor. He had no success for the first 6 or 7 years, but then something he did specifically in that turned it all around for him. And if he had quit, and he almost did quit several times, then he wouldn't have had the success he has now.
You only fail if you quit.
Yeah, and he wasn't like the most successful, because some people over there, they're posting like, I had my first $2 million a year, or something. I think he was talking about maybe breaking 6 figures almost. But the thing is that he went from, the thing I think is exciting for a lot of people, it was a radical change. He went from like, a few $1,000s a year to almost $100,000 a year in 1 year because of one change, but he never would have got to that if he hadn't kept going.
Right.
And so so stuff like that, I think, that's exactly what you're talking about, the iceberg, where all the work that goes behind it before you finally have some sort of success.
Yeah,
well, I
so
think
I'm really excited.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Dean.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I'm really excited. It's just a way for me to to secretly just use this platform to interview authors I really wanted to talk to. But in all seriousness, I think that it could really be beneficial to kind of peel back the sexy facade of being an author and kind of get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that a lot of authors have some really interesting stories behind the scenes that they've never had an opportunity to share. So just excited to kind of dig into that.
Have you got any other you got any other authors lined up?
I do. Who doesn't like a little Partlow in their keystroke medium? So
there you go.
We got Richard coming up, and then after that we have a guy you guys may have heard of. I think his name's Jonathan Yanez. That
guy.
We know Yanez.
Yeah,
that
guy.
So yeah, we got some cool guys coming up.
Very nice.
Excellent.
Well, and I think the idea of the show is inherently motivating in and of itself. And, our whole thing is motivating, entertaining, and educating. And I think that really is the base of motivation, because you get inspiration. A lot of people will get inspirations just hearing how these authors overcame what they were failing at, or overcame all these whatever negative aspects of their writing career. And like you said, I don't think that story gets told enough. And I don't, you sit here and you, as a writer, and you bleed all over the keyboard and you don't see anybody else bleeding, right? You just see everybody else cashing checks, and you're like, I don't understand. It can't be just me. And it's not. And I think hearing about that from multiple sources isn't in itself motivating, because then you're like, okay, I'm not the only one.
Right.
You pick that one thing out that is going to be your breakthrough.
Yeah. Because this is a lonely craft. I mean, you think about it, even if you're in like you're doing writing sprints online with somebody, or you're doing a writing group where you all meet up at a coffee house or something, and you sit there together and write, ultimately you're still doing it by yourself.
For sure.
There may be other people in your immediate vicinity, but to really write, you got to be in your head. You got to be undistracted. You've got to really be focused. And that is a solitary thing. And all those doubts and everything that come along with that, second guessing yourself and the internal editor and all that crap, that's all inside you, and you got to deal with it on your own. Because I don't know about the rest of you, but even if I write something, my wife just finished Jack Dark 2, because she's always my first beta reader. And she read that. She found one little thing that I needed to correct that she was right about. And I fixed that. And then she said, but this was good, and this was good, and this was good. But every time she said that, I was still like, well, I don't know. Was it really good? Are you sure? And that shit never goes away. And you got to learn how to deal with that alone. So I think shows like what Dean's planning on doing might really help people to understand that, hey, you're not the only one dealing with it alone. So
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And if it sucks, failure's in the concept of the show. So
important to leave your way a route of egress.
I like that. I like this. Is already an automatic safety.
Failure is always an option.
Yeah. I like that.
Thank you, Mythbusters.
That's a great tagline. Failure is always an option.
You've never watched the Mythbusters? The Mythbusters?
Is that what they say?
That was kind of their thing. Failure is always an option.
Nice.
Okay, so that we're doing that live, right? I think that.
Yes, sir. That's the goal.
So the 15th is going to be his first year. So 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, that's a Saturday. For those of you that don't know,
we haven't done very many, if any, Saturday shows. We've done like one Saturday show, so that might be interesting. We'll see how that goes.
That'll be fun.
I think we did. Didn't we have Peter F. Hamilton on a Saturday or something weird, because sometime we could be there.
Schedules and stuff.
Yeah.
But like Tom says, if you're going to fail like a boss.
That's it.
And I agree. Jay says the voices in my head are my friends.
Usually friend-ish.
Friend-ish. Frenemies. They're my frenemies.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to talk about today, and I know I made a couple of posts on the group about it, is the Keystroke Rimo for this year. I know that we had one last year and a whole bunch of people got on the list. I'm going to share what it looks like this year. So we have
really sexy this year.
It
is. That's so sexy.
I literally spent 12 hours.
Hold on. I need a
spreadsheet.
Mute my camera for a minute.
That's amazing.
Okay, I'm back. I'm better now.
So Keystroke Rimo 2022 is in effect. As you can see, people are already logging their numbers, and this is where I can say, I want to get 2,000 words a day, but as you can see, I haven't done that yet. So if you want to get on this list, basically all this is a word tracker. It's super simple. You can see fairly well on your screen. If you make it full screen, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about here. But here we put in our goals for what we want to do for the month. And Chuck, I have you listed here, so if you want to participate, you're more than welcome.
I will get in there and add my little pitifulness to it. Sure.
Well, it's and that's the thing for this whole thing. It's not a competition, even though there is a leaderboard. And there are other.
Doesn't that kind of make it a competition?
It's really only a competition between Rick and Nathan, because one of them is going to win.
So anyway, it's really super simple. You can't mess it up because I've locked everything out. So the only thing you can do is put in numbers. So you can't mess up the spreadsheet. That's not a challenge.
Challenge.
So all you have to do, here's January, all the months are already finished. You put in your numbers, it'll calculate everything. It gives you the averages. Of course, the daily average isn't done because the month isn't over yet, and because it's calculating by the month. But this sheet does a lot. It'll tell you how much is required to make your goal based on how many days are left in the month. So I need to write 1,649 words a day to get to my goal. Scott needs 3,000, and it's all based on what your goal is and how much is remaining in that. And then it'll log, of course, your days that you've written.
It's not wrong to set a goal. Like I said, 100,000 words. But if I get to the end of the month and I've only written 65,000 words, my goal may magically change to 65,000 words, just so I can look at it and go, look how good I did. But I kind of half joking, but it's true. And I really believe in tracking. And you guys all know that I'll put in, like, I did 3 words today after, when it all came out, and I will log that because that just shows that I was there. I was attentive.
Tried.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that consistency and adherence to the goal is more important than smashing, your max PR every day or something.
100%.
It really matters.
So that'll be tracked through the year. And everybody's position in every month is the same. So whenever the month changes, you're on the same line. And that will remain consistent for this entire year. On this yearly page, you can see a whole bunch of different information. You can see obviously your monthly totals. It'll tell you your yearly totals. It'll give you your averages daily and monthly, and it'll give you all your days logged for the year. And then we just have some fun, most consistent days, highest daily average, and then total words. Again, it's a friendly competition, but there are, like, I'll never match Scott or Nathan or Rick. So I'm fairly confident that I'll never be in the top 3, and that's okay. I just do it.
If I get ahead like I am now, I usually screenshot the leaderboard and then share it because I know it's not going to last. Because I know who's going to beat me every time. But the other thing about that is we talk about Rick and Nathan a lot because they're so productive, but they're really doing. I mean, but they're. It's not a guarantee, but their level of success, I believe, directly correlates with their consistency and doing the work.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't sound very sexy, but part of the way to be successful in this game is to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's why put in the work. I wanted to track days log too, instead of just words total.
Yes.
Because I think that's really important. Habit building is doing it every day, but also you look at if you've done 170 days and you're thinking about taking a day off, then you're like, man, it's going to take me a really long time to get back up to 170 days. It's not consecutive, it's just total days, but still you look at that number and you're like, I can keep pressing on. This is available to any Keystroke community member. If you would like to hop on and join in the fun, like I said, your goal could be anything from 20,000 to 12,000 to 100,000. You don't even have to put a goal if you don't want to, but then the sheet won't work right for you if you don't have a goal. So, but you can put any number on there and
put in 31 words a month, or
that's 30, right,
and then you can just kind of write one. Make it one.
Absolutely right.
Put the right one every day.
That's it.
Actually,
perfect word.
That would be a lot of pressure, actually, to get the exact right word every
That's
day.
That's it. Every single day.
Yeah, but then you would have a really good 52 word or a 365 word paragraph at the end of the year.
Yeah, if you're writing flash fiction, that works.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of flash fiction, that's an epic set. How many pro
are you welcome?
Are we
are you welcome?
Woohoo! Hold on, I've got to stop this. I've got to stop this share. How do I stop this one? And then I've got to do this, and then I'm going to do this here, and then
while he's doing that, the other advantage of the tracking is when you get discouraged, you can look back and say, no, I really did put in the work.
Exactly. That is, because I was very kind of like, whatever about it for a while, but that was one thing I did kind of realize when I started doing it was on those days when I was having trouble getting going, I was like, shit, I really don't feel this today. And then I looked back and said, well, you didn't feel it on that day either, and you did over 1,000 words. So shut the fuck up and get to work.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Along the same lines, Chuck, what I started doing in my own personal spreadsheet is I'm just making a little brief journal entry on each side of each day, and just kind of noting like today I didn't feel like writing.
Yeah.
Today sucked. I felt like I was writing really slow, or like today the words felt amazing. I got really good sleep. I didn't eat any brownies.
I love that. That is a great idea, man.
I've already started to notice patterns in like, this night I stayed up late to cram in more words, but it actually made me feel way more tired the next morning, and I didn't end up writing as much. So
I love that idea. I'm going to try that. That's
mine's going to my notes are going to say day 2 of trying to grow a beard, day 3 shaved beard. I just can't. I can't measure up to these guys.
See, I can grow this. None of this will all be down here. I'd have a beard like here, but not up here.
See, my back hair is coming in real nice.
Oh, come on now.
Kapow.
Part of my writing routine in the morning is journaling. I think a lot of people know that, and I kind of do the same thing. Did you see it? They kind of messed up the camera a little bit. That was kind of weird. Along the lines of what Dean is saying about talking about how you feel about writing that day, and I try to write in a little bit of what I want to get done that day, what I felt like doing the day before, what I felt the day before, and kind of like just repeated daily affirmations of like, you can write the words, but the words aren't going to write themselves, kind of thing. And so this notebook, I've got to get a new one here pretty soon. But I try to write just a couple of paragraphs. I sit down with a cup of coffee right when I first wake up. If I'm not immediately in front of the keyboard, I write in the journal and handwrite. Just take a couple minutes and kind of center myself a little bit. And I know not everybody has the time for that, but it kind of centers me a little bit and kind of.
You can read over your previous day's entry while you comb your beard.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Okay, speaking of flash fiction, we're starting a new thing for Keystroke this year. And this is shamelessly stolen from a friend of mine, Scott McGlasson, who runs Space Opera Writers.
Name drop.
Yeah. And Scott McGlasson started this in his Facebook group. They don't do it anymore. And I talked with him about it, and I wanted to to pick it up and run with it. And he was cool with that. So the format's staying the same, and we're not worried about stealing ideas because he's allowing us to use it. So basically, we are going to start a quarterly flash fiction competition, and it's basically going to be, we don't have a name on it yet, but it's basically going to be every quarter we're going to have a collection of images, kind of like this. These aren't the images we're using, but something like this, where we will have 5 images like this, and the writer or writers can pick one of those images and write a 1,000-word flash fiction story, and they submit it to us, and we're going to have I think 3 to 5 raters. And what we're going to do is we're going to rate the submissions on a scale of 1 to 5. We haven't nailed down exactly how the scale is going to work. Of course, everything's subjective. But then at the end of the deadline for that quarter, we're going to take the top 3 entries based on the aggregate rating of each story. The top 3 will go to a celebrity judge for first place, second place, and third place. For instance, when the Facebook group Space Opera Writers did it, and I submitted that year, I was one of the 3 finalists that went to Peter F. Hamilton, and Peter F. Hamilton read my story. He rated me 3rd place because he felt a shorter glimpse into a bigger world, and not like just a self-contained story, which is really, admittedly it's super hard to do in 1,000 words. But his comments on the story were fantastic. It was really like my that was my like, look guys, I won 3rd place, look kind of thing.
You get my trophy.
You should have just wrote at the very end of your story next time, just leave enough words to write. This is all there is. There's nothing more, period.
That's right.
And then the world ended.
And then the world blew up.
Things ended. And the story was complete in and of itself. Nothing left to chance.
That's right. So we're going to be starting this up here in the next couple of weeks. We'll have some concept art, and I'll make a post in the group. That's where you'll learn about it. So if you're listening on the feed or you're watching on YouTube and you're not a part of the Facebook group, just Google Facebook or Google Keystroke Medium, or go onto Facebook and search Keystroke Medium. We're the only one. Find the group, join the group, and that's where you'll see the invitation to submit. So I think it'll be a fun time. Writing short stories. I used to hate writing short stories. I've always been kind of a long form guy. But after being in so many anthologies and writing, I don't know, at least 20 short stories, they're kind of fun, and kind of gets you out of the slump of writing 100,000 word book.
But I mean, the difference between a short story and flash fiction, though, is like the difference between a short story and a novel.
100%.
Flash fiction, man. That's tough.
It is tough. It is tough.
I did a little bit in college, but it's just good. Anybody that can do that well has my admiration.
Yeah.
I just remembered that I think Kayleen and Lauren interviewed Ryan M. Danks. If you can listen to that episode.
Oh, hold on. I pulled him out.
Oh, was there a copyright issue and he just got kicked because
he disappeared for a half second?
I clicked it accidentally. Writing great short stories.
2 steps to writing great short stories. Oh, cool.
Go listen to his episode we did with him, because I got really inspired and actually wanted to go write a short story again after listening to that. So go check him out.
Ken, if you're still listening, or if you're listening later, see if you can snatch that show and add it to the show notes. And then if you're watching on YouTube or listening on the audio feed later, if Ken's on top of his game, which he generally is, we'll have that show locked in the show notes. And yes, Kayleen, you were in the meeting. Why am I never notified of these things? Were you paying attention? You're off playing with
you were there. I saw you.
Ridiculous. Okay, so
she was too busy daydreaming about how much more money she got paid than Chuck.
Yes,
that's right.
Wasn't everyone?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Well, I think
she said she meant the show. She didn't know we were going today.
Oh. Sorry, Kayleen. Love you. I don't know that I wanted to talk about a couple other things today, but we're quickly running out of time. Look, everybody gave me crap in the host feed about like all the stuff that I wanted to talk about today. And
I didn't say a word.
You're sure you're going to get to all that in one show? And I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. And we talked about
special 6-hour beginning of the year marathon.
That's it. Maybe we should break our beginning of the year show up into 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's our month-long beginning of the year show. So anyway, the Flash Fiction competition will be up and running here in the next couple of weeks with rules and criteria for judging and all that stuff. And yeah, that's it. This may be the episode. Oh, look at this. Look. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna.
What am I missing?
Never mind, Ken. Never mind. Dean figured it out. I've got it. Hold on. I'm going to copy. Just share. Copy. Okay. I'm going to put in the live chat the link for the show that he was talking about earlier. The show with Ryan about short stories.
He has a really cool short story technique, like to generate the premise that I've never heard of anywhere else. So
is that the 2 steps?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I want to check that out.
Okay, cool. Let's see. What else can we talk about today that we have 10 minutes left to talk about?
What else is on your list? Because I know you have one.
Well, I wanted to talk about Arcane, but I could talk about Arcane for an entire show.
No, we could do some. Yeah. That's...
First of all, if you have Netflix, check out Arcane on Netflix. It's an animated series. It's an adult cartoon. It's not a cartoon for your kids for sure. Don't let your
no. Or in my case, your wife, because she can't watch anything stressful.
Yeah. But Arcane is brilliant. It's apparently it's based on a game called League of Legends, which I recently just played a little bit just to see what it was like. It's basically League of Legends is a mobile arena game, but this show is based on characters and lore from that game, and like with a lot of shows, sometimes you get you either get really crappy characters or you get super good characters and no plot, or you get like really good plot and like meh kind of characters. This show really legitimately, I thought, had it all. The only negative that I will say about this show is the ending, which it's negative because it was fast. Like the ending was a kind of an abrupt ending, and when you watch the show, you'll understand.
You want more, basically.
Makes you want more, and it really sets up the second season. But other than the abrupt ending of the show, it was freaking phenomenal. The character growth, the character development, the setting, the world building was so. I mean, in 9 episodes, and I think the episodes were like 30 to 40 minutes long. In those 9 episodes, you really got a feel for this world and feel for the characters and what they've been through and kind of where they're going. I thought they dealt with schizophrenia like really well, which is interesting.
No spoilers. I've only seen the first episode.
Nah, it's not a spoiler, but it's really good. I highly encourage everyone to watch it, even if you don't like kind of like the steampunky kind of sci-fi settings. Like just don't look at the setting if you don't like that, and just look at it for the story. Phenomenal. Like the writing aspect of
it's beautifully done in almost every sense.
It does
and the
look
characters
amazing.
the characters will become so real that I thought I was thinking of them as real people by about halfway through the series as I was going around throughout my day. It's and they make difficult choices. They don't pull any punches with some of the character conflicts. Also, almost every character in the show is there for a reason. You see these characters you think is kind of a throwaway character, but then they'll come back and do something. There's very little waste in the character development. That's cool. Very, very interesting.
I'll definitely have to get back to that one. So since we're talking about Netflix and their stupidity, could someone explain to me why they canceled Cowboy Bebop after one season?
Honestly, I liked Cowboy Bebop.
I did too.
I thought it was great. I don't know why it only got one.
Well, it's kind of like the whole why a lot of people didn't like the Matrix because of what happened behind the scene. The new Matrix movie, they didn't like what happened behind the scenes so much they couldn't stand the movie, and it kind of jaded their impression of the movie. And
I was kind of disappointed in it.
I mean, a lot of people
I don't even know what you're talking about, the behind the scenes stuff.
No, the
I just thought the story
was
was weak
and all that stuff. By the way, Steve wanted to join in, so here he is.
Hi, Steve.
There he is. Real quick,
the true Sith Lord has arrived.
Real quick on the Bebop question, I think one simple explanation for it, the more I thought about it, is that there already was one. And so literally, you made a show that's in competition with itself. And I just don't think it could support both of them.
Well, I see your point there from their business standpoint, but I mean, it was a good show.
I loved it.
And they chopped it, and you don't see live action shows picked up off of animated shows that really do each other justice that often.
It was really good. I loved it.
So when I heard that they had chopped it after one season, I was just like, what the hell, man?
They should probably chop Boba Fett and bring back Cowboy Bebop. I'm just throwing it out there.
The hell no.
Probably change the name of Cowboy Bebop to literally anything else on the planet.
That would work. I would be okay with that. If they just bring back that same format and that character and that setting and call it whatever. Yeah. But I mean, that was just such a well done show.
They called it Lightning Bug, maybe.
Lightning
Bug. It's all about the main character is all about, that bebop is a form of jazz, and that's what it's about.
I know, and I don't think anyone gave a crap about that. They should have just
thrown that out the door.
It's interesting you say that. You could call it anything because you could have just changed the names of the characters.
Cowboy of Valor.
Changed a little bit of the plot. Yes, Cowboy of Valor would work. And have just an original show.
Well,
if it had been an original show, if it had been an original show, I think it would have been phenomenal.
Yeah,
the reception would have been. I mean, I thought it was good anyway because I never saw the original anime. I thought it was good, but it wasn't as good as Arcane. I can say that right now.
Arcane is brilliant.
I'm definitely gonna have to get back to Arcane because I did enjoy that first episode. I just haven't had a chance to watch the rest of it yet.
I think it also.
I thought the first episode was good.
It gets markedly better. That's what's crazy.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think it suffered from the same thing that we see with books, right? Like something can be fantastic, but it comes out at the same time as 30 other things that were equally as fantastic. And the market dictates what sticks around. And the reality is Arcane was a tremendously better product than Cowboy Bebop.
Probably had a better draw because of the League of Legends.
Yeah, and hot chicks, right? Like I know that they're also animated, but like that sells, man. It just is what it is.
It does.
And so I think if it came out like 2 months from now, Cowboy Bebop probably would have had a better chance. But it was up against the world, man.
I see your point there. I don't know. That I was very disappointed. They had done that to me before with what was it called? Jupiter's Legacy.
Firefly.
Well, yeah, but that was Fox.
I'm joking. Yeah,
but no, Jupiter's Legacy was the same way. That superhero thing. I thought that was really good, and chopped it after one season.
But it came out at the same time as Invincible, and nothing beats Invincible.
And nothing's going to beat Invincible.
And The Boys. I mean, they literally just went. Here's another thing. Everything else you're watching. Yeah.
They need to stagger them so people can stay excited about the genre.
Since our hour's almost up, we want to keep talking for another 2 hours. I was disappointed with Boba Fett.
I was too.
Really?
It was.
I was too.
What was wrong with it.
It's boring.
It was super boring. It was not only was it boring, but the 4-legged or the 6-legged what's the guy from Mortal Kombat? The
yeah, jumping out of the sand.
The Barsoom reference.
You didn't like it?
God. So as a setup
It felt
episode,
like somebody's high school
they could have done so much better than just because there were long stretches of the show that nothing happened. And
but I mean,
you want to see
a lot of it was backstory about him getting out of the Sarlacc.
100%, I get that, but all of that could have been spread across the show if it was necessary for the rest of the show.
The Darth Beaulieu over here has something.
Yeah, go ahead, Darth.
Disney seems to think that we want stuff that we actually don't need.
Yes.
We didn't need a Thrawn background. We didn't need a Boba Fett background. We just needed Boba Fett to be the badass that he used to be, and then just never see him again. That was the if they didn't throw him in Mando, we wouldn't have needed a Boba Fett show.
True.
And I love Boba Fett, but you ever after Mando came out, somebody went and pointed out that has Boba Fett done anything successfully in his entire career?
Well, apparently he was a badass before he went after Han Solo.
And then it's just
they should have left it that way.
Yeah.
They should have had him descend into like a life of drinking or something and debauchery because of his ruined life.
And the guy playing him is, he's no spring chicken anymore. So I bet the action stuff is tougher for him these days.
I mean, even the chick that played in S.H.I.E.L.D., that is
Ming-Na.
She's literally 60-something years old now.
Is she?
She looks great for 60-something years old. But, what are we doing here? We have 78-year-old presidents. We don't need that.
Politics.
No.
No, I thought the episode just lacked it lacked kind of being goal driven. He was kind of like, "Sup, I'm Boba Fett. I'm here. Hey, pew pew."
Well, I mean, I felt the tension of him being this guy coming in trying to take over this decaying Hutt empire.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me was the driving through line. I'm like, well, how's he going to do that?
I did
she kept bringing up like, people used to shit their pants if the Hutt came through here, and he was like, well, I'm going to do it different. And to me, that raised a lot of questions like, well, Mos Eisley was a hive of scum and villainy and all that. So how's he going to fit in? I don't know. I liked it. I thought they did okay with it.
Yeah, I do like the fact that he has lots of early failures. I think a lot of modern stories.
See, and that's what I said.
Start out tough in the beginning, but it also has to. But you can do it in an entertaining way. And I'll still watch the rest of it, but I was pretty disappointed.
You guys are entitled to be wrong. It's fine.
So here, you guys aren't going to seriously tell me that the guy from
whatever
the thing did not look like Goro.
Oh, of course he did.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely he did. But why? Why is that a big deal?
And the same quality of art.
Yeah, because it had the same.
Now I will give you that. The CGI on that was a little shaky. I'll give you that.
It was like much. The dragon from The Witcher in the first season. Come on.
I'll give you that much. The CGI, they could have used a little more budget for that, I think.
Anyway. I'm pretty sure that was their nod to John Carter and because that was exactly how they described the green aliens in the John Carter books.
Oh yeah,
their ability to go on 4 limbs on the ground
and then 2. Right.
Right. That's John Carter. I thought was really underrated. I really liked that.
Oh, absolutely. I was so surprised that didn't do better than it did. Did you ever read any of the books?
No.
Yeah, I read them when I was a kid a million years ago.
How come when they're running on all fours, there's never just one long dragging?
it's all internal.
Yeah,
they pull it up in there when they don't need it.
Poor guy.
They're
Didn't
growers.
Expect me
not
to answer
showers,
that,
Steve.
did
you? Poor guy.
The Goro looks like a San Francisco Hardy Paradise. Candy Paradise. That's awesome. Awesome. I thought it was Valor of Doom. Yes, that's true. Anyway, I think we should cut it off there before we go off the rails any further.
We'll add
trashing
kind of
like they did to the
Netflix
six-legged
as part
guy.
of our goals.
Definitely go and watch Arcane if you have Netflix.
Yeah, I will do that this evening.
It's stupid good.
Highly recommend that. You know what, Steve? Let's talk about your goals before we go. What's your goals?
Nope,
for 2022,
he doesn't
man?
have any.
I have no goals. I would
Crash.
like my hair back if I could. If that's a legit goal, I would love my hair back.
Mhm.
I mean, if I get any, if Athon gets any more successful, maybe I can afford to get a hair transplant. But
you got to have a mullet though if you do that.
Toupee, buddy. Toupee. They make them good these days.
It's pronounced touche. So I don't know. My goals this year, we've got some. I don't know. They're all passive goals. They're all things that I don't really have much control over, right? Like we've got some stuff with Hollywood Brewing that I'd really love to see actually do anything, but that has nothing to do with whether or not I can accomplish it. I would love to. Here's a legit one. I would love to seem a little less angry, because I'm not an angry person. I'm just like look at
That's Steve's hair plugs.
He was just talking about not being angry. And you throw that at it.
Now he's pissed.
This is
now
the end of 2022 for Steve.
You'll see.
Probably me. That's
You'll
if it works for Steve, I'll be like, hey, thanks for taking the hit.
You'll see. You're going bald too, Cholo, or whatever you are.
Oh,
now that technology's come a long ways. It used to look like a bunch of ant legs up there. You know, now
hilarious.
I'll go back to trying to be serious before we leave. For the
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why do people perceive you as angry? Is it?
I don't know. I took my son to a lake house with our executive administrator John and his kids, and our parenting styles are so vastly different that his kids went home and said something like, Mr. Steve seems angry. And of course that makes you go, well, what did I do? I think I just deal with Oliver differently than a lot of parents deal with their kids. And I'm just very like Josh has been on the phone with me when I just tell him what
Steve and I are like this when it comes to parenting styles. I'll just tell you, like right now.
I'm just like, dude,
I'd lay down money. I'm probably in the same court as both you guys.
He does something. I'm just like, you don't need to do that, man. Just cut it out. Just stop.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to happen, right?
I don't ask. I'm the adult. I don't ask you what to do. I tell you what to do. And if you don't do it, I lay down the consequences. That's
I always point out
works.
that I'm literally 25 times bigger than you are.
Yeah, and then there's that.
I also think that his kids were not used to my humor, and Oliver, I think, knows when I'm being serious. Like, hey, I'm gonna break your hand. Like,
I'm about to punch you across the room, kid.
Right? Like he knows this is a joke, but I'm also saying like stop doing what you're doing, and I'm thinking maybe his kids didn't understand that those were just sort of jokes. But anyway, I want to be perceived as I want to fix how I am perceived if I am perceived differently than I want to be perceived.
Next time we're at 20 books, let's just practice. You can treat Josh just like you treat your kids, and we'll see if it's okay.
Your social presence, is that what you want to work on? Is that what you call that? Social presence? I don't know.
We'll get a PR person. It's good.
Chuck, can I hire you?
Oh, yeah.
You already did.
Oh, okay. Those keywords, those hot topic keywords can be very beneficial. He
Just reach out anytime, man. I'll be happy to help you out.
He wasn't abusive. He was, I don't know. What do I say? What do you say there? What do you say?
Corrective.
Oh, he wasn't abusive. He was
says
aggressively.
If you beat your children, they will listen.
He was.
He's passionate.
He was aggressively assertive.
Aggressively assertive. Look at that.
There you go.
His love language is discipline.
But like I said, Oliver totally understands me. But like I think that other kids probably don't know what I'm doing. My wife always tells me that no one understands my sense of humor.
I get that a lot too. I really do.
And so I confuse people a lot.
Yeah, usually it comes in the form of "Will you shut up?"
Yeah. Anyway, that's probably my only thing. Other than
T.S. Hottie got it. Hoddle, percussive discipline.
This is the kick. That is the stare.
Combat discipline right there. Family
Keystroke Medium, where you can learn how to write and discipline your kids at the same time.
Beat your children.
You're welcome.
In a wordy kind of way.
I did not lay hands upon that child.
No, of course not.
We are
so if you want in on the Keystroke Rimo sheet that we talked about earlier, send me a private message on Facebook, or you can email keystroke.medium@gmail.com and I can get you on. We have a Discord server that we're trying to expand and do stuff with. If you want to get on there, I'll put the link in the live chat. Ken will get it in the show notes because Ken Brits does an amazing job with our show notes. Thanks, Ken.
The man.
We could also change the tagline for this show for a little be more clickbaity. Let's just put on there, Steve isn't angry.
Oh yeah, that's good. 2022
Leo,
goals and Steve isn't angry. I like
Leo
that.
says my gluten-free often requests that I stop talking. I'm not really sure what that means.
Yes, GF is definitely gluten-free.
It's 2021, man. 2021.
Yeah, gotta know your pronouns.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with Keystroke Medium. I am Josh Hayes here with everybody here on Keystroke. Come back next week. We're going to talk about some reading, some writing, and everything in between right here on Keystroke Medium. Peace.
Later, folks.